Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Tuesday.
Hey, is that your daddy or your grandpa?
Such a weird video, dude.
What does it say when we both have to wear diapers? Sorry. I couldn't help that one. Had to be done. Had to be done. Had to.
The line of the morning so far, Mr. Thorpe.
I'm gonna get myself in trouble again.
So this all stems from a video that John Hickenlooper put out yesterday, and I'm scrolling through my X feed, and I'm going, oh, this is a nice video of John Hickenlooper and his grandson. Nope.
Yeah.
It's John Hickenlooper and his son. John Hickenlooper, 73 years old, and his 3-year-old son.
When I go like this,
Yeah.
you say, you look at the camera and you go, vote for Dad.
Vote for Dad.
Perfect. All right, ready? Hi, this is John Hickenlooper. I'm here with baby Jack Hickenlooper, living proof that there's one miracle left in each of us. And the reason why I continue to fight in every way I can for Colorado and for this country. I'm running for re-election. I'm going to need everybody's support and your vote.
Vote for Dad.
Good work. Thanks, Jack. You can go back to eat your lunch.
So there's so many angles here, Bill.
Yeah.
There's so many. At one level, that guy hasn't changed at all. He's still the dork that put on a little helmet and got on the scooter when he ran for mayor 22 years ago. Dude has been leading political offices in Colorado for 22 years. You like the direction of the state? How about you look at the guy that has held pretty much every office? Mayor of Denver, governor of Colorado, now U.S. senator in Colorado. Dude has been at the top of every office in the state for 22 years. So still the same dork that he's always been. But then it seems like a little jarring to look, and you're like, because he's so old, he's 73, and he has this kind of grandpa demeanor about him. Like the little tap on the back. Good job, baby Jack, like you would to your grandchild.
Yeah.
But it's his son conceived via IVF when he was 70 to his second wife. Now, I'm glad I'm pro-life, so there's a human life there. You go, that's great. Human life. IVF, though, I have a raised eyebrow about IVF because oftentimes the procedure results in the destruction of embryos of children that have been fertilized. So it's an actual human life that just gets discarded, which I don't like. But you go, okay, there's a human life there. Then you got this guy that's 73 with a toddler. That's got its own issues. And then if you reelect John Hickenlooper, he's going to be into his 80s when the term ends. I'm watching just take me out of the conservative world and just put me in the political calculations world, okay? Where's the young socialist running to primary him? Like, you just had a big win with Mamdani in New York City. The top-rated politician in Colorado, according to Magellan Strategies, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The voters want the young socialists. So, where are they? Is the Democrat Party, the machine in Colorado, so effective that it gets to geriatric U.S. senator who's been in office for 22 years? And by the way, there's a net migration away from the state right now. People don't want anything to do with Colorado anymore. They're like, I'm ready to leave the state. The headline out of the Gazette was the number of Colorado natives, a shocking number of Colorado natives no longer want to live in this state. So that guy who's been in power for 22 years can't get a primary from a young socialist? Is the Democrat machine that good in Colorado? What is going on? We want you to be a part of the conversation. Give us a call. Do you want to give John Hickenlooper another 6 years? And then, Bill, who's the Republican running against the guy?
You say, when I go like this.
I'm tapping buttons here.
I killed it.
Who's the Republican? We got 21 candidates running for governor.
Yeah.
in the Republican Party. Who's running against John Hickenlooper as the Republican right now?
Yeah.
And is the Republican Party that weak? So is the Democrat Party so strong that the machine can fend off a socialist primary, and the Republican Party so weak they can't find anybody to run against the guy?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, why
What
couldn't you run
and
against
then
him?
he's parading his son we had when he was 70 years old. This is just wild to me. The whole thing's crazy. Join the conversation, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Jacqueline texted in, did Hickenlooper marry a much younger woman? Yes. Second wife is 30-plus years younger, I believe. 73, she's 44, so almost 30 years. Almost 30 years, 29 years younger. All right. Would love for you to be a part of the conversation. Again, 720-819-5115 is the text line. The call line, 303-696-1971. Now it's time for News and Comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, News and Comment.
Hey, good morning. It is Tuesday, 26, and mostly cloudy in Denver, expecting a high of 49 today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story, DJT, holding a cabinet meeting today. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said all aspects of the September drug boat strike in Venezuela were legal. The second National Guard member shot last week is making progress. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey says Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf is now out of a medically induced coma.
I'm not the doctor. I'm not going to try to pretend to be so. What I will say is that Andrew remains in serious condition. We did have some positive news.
The suspect in the shooting is an Afghan national who worked with the CIA, of course, in Afghanistan. He's facing first-degree murder and other related charges for the death of Wolf's colleague, Army Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. Accused killer Luigi Mangione will be back in court today as his attorneys look to potentially suppress evidence in his case. Mangione murdered United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in cold blood last December in Manhattan. During Monday's hearing in a New York City courtroom, prosecutors played the 911 call that led to Mangione's arrest at a McDonald's in Pennsylvania. Travelers without a real ID will have to pay a $45 fee to go through TSA checkpoints starting next year. The TSA announced on Monday that the new fee will go into effect February 1st at DIA and across the country. Candace Owens spoke for the first time about the Macron family, France, plotting to assassinate her.
The only department that we did hear back, well, first let me say I did not at all hear back from the FBI on the American side. I did hear back from the counterterrorism unit. I did hear back from the White House confirming that that message had been delivered on Trump's desk, me saying that I had the information. I guess he didn't want to inquire further, which is interesting. But the FBI left me on red. And I will say I didn't go through an official channel and send an email, and I should do that. But I did send a text message to somebody very high up who received the text message. No response. Now, I thought that the claim of the French Foreign Legion being involved in Charlie's assassination, I thought the FBI might be interested. No phone calls even from Utah's FBI branch have come into me either. Wouldn't you want to see? Aren't we supposed to be investigating the Charlie Kirk assassination? It was totally not a state operation, and they really want to get to the truth, which explains why nobody called.
Day 2 today.
All right, Blake.
Okay.
Trump or Candace? Which side are you on?
Neither. I call him like I see him. So I agree with 95% of what DJT is doing, but
So
I think
why do-
there
why-
are powers that be that we don't know about. And that's what he's trying. He is trying to clean it up. He's trying to figure it out. But his life is on the line every day. I don't know what he has to deal with, but I can't even imagine. But I feel like, there's a literal or figurative gun pointed at him every second of the day. As far as Candace, I think she's trying to get to the truth and find out who murdered her friend. And one of the most important political figures of our lifetime. And we don't want to live through JFK again. So how about you?
So, I think Trump has better things to do than spend his time chasing these wild theories. And there's a whole process to determine what happened. It's called a trial, right? And we have set this up as a country where we're going to bring evidence on both sides, and a jury of his peers is going to look at those evidence and determine whether or not he's guilty. And I'm just sitting. What I'm watching is Candace Owens run into a dead end because the FBI, right? Like, think if this was Biden, we'd all be like, well, they're burying stuff and there's not stuff there. Now it's Trump, it's Dan Bongino, it's Kash Patel. It's supposed to be all of our friends looking at this going, there's no there there. There's no there there. We're going to have a trial. We're focused on the trial. We're not chasing down French Foreign Legion training ops in California and French property trans things in Wilmington, Delaware. It's not worth their time because there's no there there. That's what I think.
Okay. And the system was the Warren Commission in the 70s, and that was a joke.
I still think it was. I think with Kennedy, it was one guy. I think with who was the Boulder girl that died? What was her name? The pageant Ramsey.
Oh,
I think it was
Ramsey,
the mom.
John Bonet. Yeah.
I think I got kicked.
I think so too.
I got assaulted by a random, weird, wiry white guy downtown. Right?
Yeah.
I think the solutions are often just a lot simpler than we make them out to be. I don't think there's any big cabal behind the scenes pulling the strings. They're not that smart.
Possibly. Got to uncover every stone, Jeff.
This is fun. We were going to continue. Normally it's me and Bill debating. Now it's me and Blake debating. It's just a fun little season on the Jeff, Bill, and Blake show.
We're just trying to get to the truth. Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry says he wants to see National Guard troops back in New Orleans before Christmas. Landry says he spoke with DJT Monday morning, and 47 said the troops will be in town in 2 weeks and will stay in New Orleans through Mardi Gras. The Patriots have won 10 straight after a 33-15 win over the Giants on Monday Night Football. Pats are 11-2. College football playoff rankings will be released tonight, and there will likely be a shakeup in the top after number 3 Texas A&M upset by number 16 Texas in the regular season finale over the weekend. Man, that was a great game. That was a great game. Mavericks beat the Nuggets 131-121 last night. Canucks at the Avalanche tonight at 7. 23 in Northglenn, 24 in Highlands Ranch, 25 in Denver. You're waking up with Jeff and Bill. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast will have fair skies starting off our Tuesday with morning temperatures around the middle and upper 20s. With some daytime sunshine, we'll get to the upper 40s, but Tuesday night expect developing snow, which could be light to moderate along the Denver metro, especially south. Tuesday night into Wednesday. Lows going to be mid-20s with highs upper 20s, low 30s Wednesday afternoon. Snow will taper to scattered showers with clearing skies mid-teens Wednesday night. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
John Hickenlooper, currently 73 years old. He's running for re-election. It's kind of fascinating to me that he's never really held all that accountable, right? We could go back to the time when John Hickenlooper was the mayor of Denver, said, I'm going to end homelessness in 10 years. That was 2006. By 2016, we're at record homelessness. Homelessness is worse now than it's ever been. Just continues to get worse. We spend a lot of money, by the way, on it, and it doesn't solve it because the point is not to solve homelessness. It's to fund the jobs of the people who work in the homeless industrial complex, in my mind. But I digress. John Hickenlooper's been around for 23 years, Bill. Mayor of Denver, governor of Colorado. People polled, they don't like the direction of the state. But this guy, he's part of this, what I call the pale male stale formula of winning the state of Colorado. Michael Bennett, part of that as well. Jared Polis, Phil Weiser, Mike Johnston. They're all pale, male, and stale. And then the women that get elected are kind of stale too, like Jenna Griswold. So it seems like there's a formula. We're coming up on an election. Socialists are humming. I don't see much of a socialist challenge to John Hickenlooper. There's a few people on Ballotpedia I've never heard of. By the way, Karen Breslin is running against John Hickenlooper. Does that name ring a bell?
No, doesn't for me.
She lost to George Brockler in the Judicial District 23rd DA race.
That's it. Okay, that's right out from. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't.
I didn't either.
Her picture, I was like, that lady looks familiar. Oh, yeah, George Peter.
Okay, yeah.
So she's running, and then a handful of other people I've never heard of are running against John Hickenlooper. So he's got a little bit of a primary, but you're not seeing a big push from the socialists to get him out. So, Bill, help me understand what's going on in Colorado. Are we as socialists as I think we are? Because 30,000 people turned out for Bernie Sanders' rally. They all love AOC. And then they're going to hand John Hickenlooper another 6 years after 23 years of stale leadership. What is going on?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and because I don't believe that Colorado is as socialist as you do. But part of that might be some of our political perspectives. And what I mean by that is, and I'm not describing this behavior to you, but I'm just describing what the behavior is. There are many, many people, and oftentimes, maybe some listening in the Jeff and Bill audience right now, that look around and think, I'm a political moderate, because I see people on my left and I see people on my right, and there are people on both sides, and if there are, must mean I'm in the middle. I'm a moderate. No, not necessarily. It just has to do with your perception on things. So I can see why, from your political perception, that you view where Colorado's going as massively more socialist than I do. I can understand that perspective 110%. I don't see it as socialist as you are, and I don't think that the socialists are going to have a lot of really good, I would say, ability to unseat those standard Democrat candidates, because they would have to be able to explain why the Democrats aren't being able to do what you need them to, but you've been voting for them already. And so that's kind of the break that the Democrat socialists are going to need to find. The other thing they're going to need to find is, and this is one that you cannot manufacture, this is one that has to be discovered, much like gold in the Colorado hills. You have to discover charisma. And that's how you unseat someone like a Bennett, a Hickenlooper, a Weiser. That's what you need. You need to provide that Mamdani, that AOC, that younger messaging that resonates. Now, it can't just be any younger person, and can't be a young person that is just super, super excited about things. That has to be, you have to look for someone that has that connection and that charisma. For another example of someone that wasn't running for office but had it, Charlie Kirk had charisma. There is something there that draws people, and that's, if the socialists want to make inroads on the Democrat Party in Colorado, for my opinion, they need to find the charisma. Just having the bona fides of being the Denver Socialists or the Colorado Socialist Party isn't going to do it, because I don't believe that the average Coloradan is going to jump on board. And you and I have talked about this, that we have an enormous swath of unaffiliateds, but we are an amoeba. We are not aligned politically. We don't have the same sets of values. We don't have the same sets of traits. And so it's hard to lump us into one group. But what we do know is that there's a large portion of those unaffiliateds that have left other political parties, that have abandoned where their homes were originally, so they are persuadable. And we've also seen the transition of Colorado from a red state into a blue state. So there are some people out there that are formerly red voters that have been voting blue that, again, could be persuadable. So that's why I push back on the idea that Colorado is so far left and socialist. But I do think that when you get, and you accurately, my friend, talk about this all the time, that when you get so much power consolidated into the hands of one party, they then do not face electoral consequences, so they can run really stupid bills. They can do really stupid things that maybe a lot of people in Colorado wouldn't actually agree with if they were given the chance to vote on them. But since the Democrats are in charge, they can do a lot of silly stuff. And the ones that I point at would be starting long-term programs with COVID funding that was a one-time delivery. I can't imagine that any Colorado voter would see on the ballot, we got this pile of money and we're going to create this long-term program and go, how do we fund this?
But you understand the strategy.
Oh, yeah,
right?
because
once you create it, to take it away, Bill, you are the big bad wolf.
Yes, exactly. I totally understand the strategy. Yeah, I understand the strategy, but the voters wouldn't have approved some of those things.
Oh,
and so that's it.
Right.
Yeah. And so that's the idea is I think there's a little more balance than what we see. This is something, I don't know if I'm comfortable doing this one. Okay, I've got to do this. This is personal. And every single person that is listening to the Jeff and Bill show, feel free to openly judge me and mock me because of this. But I have a difficulty with very, very, very older parents that are up there in age. I have a difficulty with that. And again, I understand that it is a personal bias. And where it comes from is my childhood. I had classmates that had much older parents, and I saw the difference in the interaction that I had with my parents and the interactions they had with their parents. I remember specifically 2 different kids growing up and how I feel for the kids because this is, first one was middle school time. And, it's an activity where I think it's one of the, either talent shows or maybe it's the Christmas pageant where everybody's parents show up and you run over to the parents afterwards. And this student kept getting asked, are those your grandparents? No, those were parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. And little caffeine. Need the caffeine this morning. Those were her parents. And I could see that it was uncomfortable for her to be in that situation where her parents looked different than everybody else's. And it didn't have to do with ethnicity. It didn't have to do with religion. It had to do with physicality and what they had the ability to do. And I also remember going through high school with a friend that had some much, much older parents. And you know what he didn't have? He didn't have the same memories of goofing around with mom and dad, especially dad. The idea of wrestling. The idea of all of those things. They didn't have that experience. They didn't have dad playing soft tackle football with them when they were 7 in the backyard. They didn't have dad pretend wrestling with them on the bed when they weren't supposed to, and mom yelling upstairs, knock it off, you're going to hurt somebody. They didn't have those experiences. And I felt, and again, I can be completely and totally wrong, but this was just where I was as a child. And I felt that they were missing out on something that I felt was really important to me. So it is completely and totally selfish and is completely and totally biased. But I have a heart for the kids that have older parents because I feel they're missing out on something.
So there's a lot of angles to this. We're talking John Hickenlooper, 73. He's in a video with his son, not his grandson, his son, who's 3. Listen to this.
When I go like this, you say, you look at him and you go, vote for dad.
Vote for dad.
Perfect. All right, ready? Hi, this is John Hickenlooper. I'm here with baby Jack Hickenlooper, living proof that there's one miracle left in each of us. And the reason why I continue to fight in every way I can for Colorado and for this country. I'm running for re-election. I'm going to need everybody's support and your vote.
Vote for dad.
Good work. Thanks, Jack. You can go back to eat your lunch.
So John Hickenlooper does this campaign video with his son, and when you scroll by it, you initially look at it and go, oh, it's John and his grandson, right? There would be no problem. I mean, every politician does videos like that, but you're like, wow, whoa, hold on. It's a son. So they had this beautiful little boy when he was 70 via IVF, okay? And there's so many angles here, right? So one, how old is too old? Because there are those surprises that come to a lot of families, right?
Yes.
You're a little older. Kids are now about to leave the house, and lo and behold, the Lord blesses you with another child. Wow. All right. That's great. Clearly, we wouldn't ever want to abort that. That's not right. But in this case, John goes via the IVF route. So this is purposeful, right? Is it too old? Is John Hickenlooper too old at 70 to be having a child via IVF with his now second wife? And when you're having a kid at 70, to Bill's point, are you cutting them out of opportunities they may have with a younger father? My personal philosophy is have children once you get married, and get married young, right? I do not believe in the go out there and try lots. I don't think that's right. I think the Bible's very clear in this, that you leave your parents, you go cleave to a spouse, you build a new family, and you have kids young. I think you should have kids young. We had our kids around 26, 27 years old, and it was great. I don't think you're ever going to be financially secure enough to feel comfortable having kids. You just got to jump. And the Lord will provide, and have lots of kids, have as many as you can. They're wonderful blessings from the Lord to have. But this, 70 years old, that puts him in the categories of like the Robert De Niro's. And who's the lead singer of Rolling Stones? Mick
Jagger.
Mick Jagger, who also had a child.
I can't believe we're still
in
friends.
his 70s.
You don't know the lead singer of Rolling Stones, and we're still friends somehow.
That's because you and I live in different worlds.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
As evidenced by the first hour.
Yes. One of us lives in a nice world. The other one, that'd be me. Not so much. Yeah.
Here's another perspective. Kathy and Aurora texts in. My parents were 38 and 45 when my last little bro was born. There was a 12-year gap between the youngest and then who became the youngest. Because of that period of time, most people had their children in their 20s. My little brother was frequently asked by strangers if they were his grandparents. It made him so mad. More and more people are putting off having kids until past 35 and 40. However, I don't think it's fair to the child to be 70. You're likely not to live past the child being 20, if not younger. Ooh, that's a good point.
That's the part.
Losing your father or your mother, depending on who's.
Yeah, the part that is difficult for me, and I'm glad that Kathy and Aurora, I appreciate you sharing that, and I'm glad that she went there, because part of that made it difficult for me seeing my classmates have older parents is in the back of my mind. I'm thinking that by the time about that you're graduating high school, they're probably getting ready for nursing homes. And that is just in my mind, that is a tremendous burden to place on a child at that age. It's a tremendous stage of life to have mom or dad or both transition into. There's a whole lot of other care. There's a lot of other responsibilities. And as both you and I, Jeff, are finding out, there are a whole lot of financial implications as well, as far as when mom, dad, or both need to make that type of a transition. And I would not have been prepared or capable at the ages of 16 to 24 to deal with that. Would I have powered through and figured it out? Yeah. But was I prepared to? Did I have the wisdom of life behind me? And did I also have, and this is the one that I think is most important and has really helped me navigate my parents' retirement, did I have an adult relationship with them? That's part of it, is you've got to be able to have some conversations with your parents about, listen, we got to pull this back a little bit. Are we attracted by the shiny thing at the retirement community, or is this a community that you feel you can deal with, day in and day out? The idea that you need to understand that you would not have had the conversation about, what's the food they're serving? Listen, Mom, Dad, you got to eat here every day. Is this the food that you want to have them serve? Is this going to fit what you can't have that conversation. You don't have the relevance or the life experience at that age. That's what hurts me, is I feel that you're missing out on that relationship in so many different stages when you have a parent that starts in their 70s with a child. I feel both the child and the parent miss out on some important stages in the growth of the individuals and also inside of that parental-child relationship. You miss out on things. And that's why I have a hard time. I can't say, no, you can't do it.
Yeah,
but
right.
It hurts. It hurts me.
Well, and to me, it's different, too, than just kind of the magic happening, right? Like there's an element of intentionality here that you go, really? Like that, because I know lots of people that have 4 kids. They get into their mid-40s, early 50s, and along comes the extra one, and that's exciting. Yeah. And you go, well, I think there's a God who governs in the affairs of men, and there's a God that had a plan for that. In this case, John Hickenlooper going out at 70, engaging in IVF to have a son. Wow. Just a little different.
That's tough.
And that boy's going to miss out on some stuff. And to your point, have to deal with a lot of stress that goes upon a child, especially as their parents get older.
And also there's, this, again, second family, second marriage. So I believe John's got some kids, I think, from other earlier marriages.
He has one.
Yeah.
Who's in college.
Yep. And that's going to be a difficult thing as well, because those 2 children are going to be in vastly different life stages at the time in which they have to interact and deal with some very serious family issues. And that is also going to create another barrier, because what's that relationship like? If it's, a person that is under the age of 5 and someone that is in college, that's where are the commonalities that they're going to find in their relationship growing up, unless that college student is going to be a part-time caretaker for that child. They're not going to have the same type of sibling relationship or even sibling rivalries. That can be good or bad, but I would look at it as good, the idea that growing up in that house and having to navigate and understand who your siblings are and that familial connection. And those kids, because of that vast age difference, they're just not going to have it. I know people that have, vastly spread out families, and the kids that are up on the top don't have necessarily the same relationship with the kids down at the bottom. My dad's one of 5, and there are, I want to say there was almost 20 years between he and his youngest sister.
Wow.
And they were disconnected.
Yeah.
Because he was at a different stage in life. Now, when she got into the middle school, high school area, they reconnected for a variety of different reasons, because he was the coolest older brother and he could drive her places and things. And so that became where their relationship grew. But younger, when they were little, they couldn't stand each other because they were at such different stages. They never interacted. Yeah.
Join the conversation. Would love to hear from you. How old is too old to have a child? John Hickenlooper, 73, in a campaign video with his 3-year-old, which means via IVF, they conceived and had their little miracle baby, as John refers to, in his 70s. I looked this up, the percentages of that happening in America, like out of all the births. And let me pull up the exact percentage, because it is tiny, tiny, tiny. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah.
0.008% of all births in America between 2011 and 2022 involved fathers aged 70 years or older.
Ooh.
And is John too old to run for Senate again? He's 73. Donald Trump, though, 79. Those guys seem vastly different, though. If you asked me who was older, I would have said John Hickenlooper.
Yeah. The thing for me is that I have this issue with people that are 70 plus still being involved in our government. I have a real issue with that.
There's wisdom there, Mr. Thorpe. Great wisdom to be brought.
There's also, for me, though,
a lot more wisdom than Mamdani has.
Well, there's also a disconnect, I believe, at times that I see in that generation, in that age group when they get up there. A disconnect from what can happen and what is real life. And so they're at a stage in their life where they are seeing the end of the road, and I'm not certain that gives them the right perspective for people that are earlier in that journey, still trying to climb the mountain. And that's probably as far as I should go.
Join that
right
as
now.
well. We want you to be a part of the conversation. Here's the phone line, 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line, 720-819-5115. Guys, let's talk Guy Rees. My wife and I had an absolutely fantastic experience at Guy Rees. If you've never been in, go check them out. They are your personal, professional home designers, which means they sit down with you and show you an incredible selection of Hunter Douglas custom blinds, shades, and shutters. They will walk you through everything and help find the perfect option to enhance the look and functionality of your home. So whether your curtains are clashing or you just want a fresh look, Guy Rees has the solutions for you. Their designers are the experts, and they can help you with everything from window treatments to full room decor. Here's the best part. They offer a personalized in-home consultation. They come to you. They bring the paint samples. They bring the blind samples. They even bring lasers to perfectly measure everything so you can get the expert advice right in your own home. Do yourself a favor. Get started today. We have great blinds in our home. I love them every single day because of the great people at Guy Rees. Go to GuyRees.com to schedule your in-home consultation. That's GUIRYS.com, GUIRYS.com. Go see the great people at Guy Rees. You'll be sure to thank me. And we'll continue with your phone calls and texts. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. John Hickenlooper out with a campaign ad that kind of struck everybody with some raised eyebrows. When you're scrolling through your X feed, you go, oh, it's a nice man with his grandson. Nope, it's his actual son. John Hickenlooper, 73, with his 3-year-old, Jack.
When I go like this,
Yeah.
you say, you look at the camera and you go, vote for Dad.
Vote for Dad.
Perfect. All right, ready? Hi, this is John Hickenlooper. I'm here with baby Jack Hickenlooper, living proof that there's one miracle left in each of us. And the reason why I continue to fight in every way I can for Colorado and for this country. I'm running for re-election. I'm going to need everybody's support and your vote.
Vote for Dad.
Good work. Thanks, Jack. You can go back to eat your lunch.
Now, when Hickenlooper had baby Jack, he was 70. And out of all the births between 2011 and 2022 in America, 0.008% were to fathers aged 70 or older. Is it too old to have a child? Well, Abraham and Sarah. Abraham was 100, Sarah 90 when Isaac was born. Is it a problem? But those kids miss out on a lot. What do you think? Let's go to the phone lines. Francis Golden. Good morning, Francis. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Hey, guys. I hope you're coming out of turkey coma. I'm still in one a little, but that's all right.
Me too. I'm still trying to grind my way through the leftovers. We're getting, they're sealed in airtight containers, but still, yeah.
Yeah, they're not getting better.
No, they're not. And the problem is, and friends, the problem is this, is that in our house there are a couple people in our house that won't eat leftovers. And so a lot of times it comes down to like me or the cat. And the cat is picky. So, I end up getting most of it. Yeah, exactly.
That's
all right, sorry, continue, my friend.
Oh, no, that's all right. I think I have a little bit of a perspective on this because when my dad had me, he was 50, and I'm the oldest in our family. And we actually had my mom had 5 kids in 3 years. She had 2 twins immediately younger than me. And my mom was 38 when she had me. So but I think that's the cusp. I mean, cusp wouldn't be the right word. That's the edge. You can't push it past that, I don't think, at all. And have some meaningful, parental time, when you're in high school, when you're in junior high, when all the stuff, it's tough. I think financially and everything else, if you go past that age, there's just no way. So we had a diaper service. This is from my mom. I certainly wouldn't have any firsthand recollection, but a diaper service that would come to the house called Rock a Dry Baby.
Good name.
It was a good name. But, back in the day when you had diaper service, this wasn't like just disposables. So
yeah.
So anyway.
I remember washing out those reusables. That was fun.
Francis, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no, both my parents lived to, a decent old age, and they had a very full life. The thing is, both my dad and mom pretty much worked till, they were 80. I mean, and it was mostly out of desire, not really financial need as much. I mean, but it was something that they just they weren't people who did work. Let's put it that way. They always worked. It was just the way things are. So, and they had jobs that they could perform into, an older age. And so
now, Francis, I got a question. What were some of the things that you struggled with having an older parent? Were there times in which you saw or heard about your classmates or friends doing things with their parents that your parents couldn't? And was there ever a case where it was reversed? And again, I'm being facetious, but maybe the idea is, Dad said we could go to the movies because he gets a senior discount. Okay, I'm being facetious, but still.
Yeah. Well, really, it was kind of like my dad didn't go to many of my sporting events or my sisters or my brothers or things like that, but he would go to a lot of them. And it was just, mostly just because he was pooped, after. But it was also kind of, there was a lot of us. And so it was, if he was to make the rotation on all 5 kids' different events, he would never have an evening at home alone. So that was a little tricky, but it wasn't a big deal to me. It really wasn't. It wasn't we were kind of not feral. I mean, but it was different. You didn't have cell phones. You didn't. It was always kind of how's so and so getting home? And once I could drive, I could shuttle people around. And once my brothers got their license, they could shuttle people around. And we had like 3 not great cars that worked okay to get people to and from, and it all worked. It just worked. It wasn't like, and you'd get a lot of rides home from friends and things like that. It wasn't a big
Francis,
deal. It really wasn't.
I think your analysis is right that, the 50s is right along the edge of where you can be having kids. Once you're jumping into the 70s and IVF, those kids are missing out on some stuff, and they're having to deal with a lot. But, Francis, sure appreciate the life perspective.
Thanks, Francis.
Thank you for joining us. Francis's line will be open, 303-696-1971. George Brockler texted in reminding us that in Colorado, the mandatory retirement age for judges is after 72. And John Hickenlooper, 73, running for a whole nother term. Is he too old?
So at one point, we decided that at 72 for judges, it's time to, enjoy the end cycle of the life and go out to pasture and you enjoy retirement
and maybe
years.
You shouldn't be making decisions about people's individual lives, but if you're 73 as a senator, you can make decisions about the entire state.
Yeah, of course. And the country. That's right.
That's right. All right, let's talk about your hair, gentlemen. If you're losing it, desire to have it back, then Advanced Hair Restoration has the easiest guaranteed solution. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results. Guys, I've seen it with my own eyes. It's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. So, guys, if you really want to go after that lady later in life, maybe start that family. Advanced Hair Restoration can help you with your prospects. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Paul's modern technology. And best of all, you can get your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it will grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now, 720-459-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver and has changed the lives of tens of thousands of people. So don't wait. Check out the before and afters online for yourself, 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com, 720-459-HAIR, advancedhair.com. We'll continue with your phone calls and texts. John Hickenlooper and his 3-year-old child. He's 73. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show.
This is Denver's Talk Leader, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. John Hickenlooper out with an advertisement for his Senate campaign. He's 73. If he gets elected, he'll finish his term at 81. We're talking whether or not John Hickenlooper's been a good force for the state of Colorado and if he deserves to be reelected. He seems to be in this kind of protected bubble that Diana DeGette's in, and he's just going to chug along. But what was shocking about this ad was you see him with this young boy and you think initially, oh, it's John and his grandson. No, it's John and his son, who he had via IVF at 70. And so there was like this affirmative effort to have a child in your 70s. Is that too old? Let's go to Aaron in Denver. Good morning, Aaron. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Morning.
Well, no, apparently not. It's not too old. I mean, you guys brought up Mick Jagger, and I think, was it Robert De Niro?
De Niro, 79, had a child.
Yeah, well, like I said, apparently not. And the thing is, when it comes to Hickenlooper didn't even want the Senate seat. He didn't even want that. He didn't even want the gig, but he took it because it was just an opportunity to collect a paycheck from the working stiff suckers of Colorado that put him in there. So, you know, the way I look at it, in me, I'm from a family of a single parent. The male figure in my life was my grandfather. So and I had a lot of fun with him until he passed on. So, you know, kids just find, it's kind of like the movie Jurassic Park. Life finds a way, and kids will adapt to that situation. Now, I don't know how long Hickenlooper's going to live. None of us know. None of us know how long we're going to live on this planet we call Earth. But the thing is, though, who knows? Hickenlooper may live to be 100 years old. I don't know. Maybe Jeff and Bill, maybe you guys will live to 100 years. I don't know. Who knows? But the thing is, though, his son will find a way to adapt. And if Hickenlooper suddenly passes on, at least he'll have his mother, and he may have other male figures in that family that he can kind of use as a life raft. Because my grandfather was my life raft, at least as a male figure in my life. So, you know,
Aaron bringing a lot of wisdom to the conversation.
Yeah. Well, like I said, though, I mean, kids just find a way to. Kids are resilient. Kids find a way to adapt. And unlike the Republican Party, which is in this state in Colorado, is so dysfunctional. And
we got to get to a break, Aaron. Perfect
Aaron,
call.
Perfect. Thanks,
so
man.
much fun. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show.
Hey, Jacqueline, you're up next. We'll be right back. This is KNUS.